The theme Eurojunk is often used to lovingly describe the world of French developer spiders. Was previous the Great Wall showed just how hard some of the smaller European devs can punch above the weight of their low budget and smaller stuff in comparison to the larger studios putting out similar titles. Tracking their lineage through a variety of dark fantasy action RPGs, Steelrising seems the next logical conclusion in their overview given how much the world of From Software has shaped the state of action RPGs over the last decade. Rather than live the Dark Souls, however, Spiders instead crept from the 2015 masterpiece Bloodborne, screwed the Lovecraftian elements for a tale of corruption and technology gone mad against the backdrop of the French Revolution in 1789. As the King Louis XVI unleashed hordes of magical automations of the populace, his wife Maria Antoinette freed from the country estate which she held captive, isolated from the single room as clock carts roam the hallways of the ground. Her last result is to activate Aegis, an automation designed to entertain members of the court, now reproduced as a bodyguard by sending Marie Antoinette to stop her husband reign of terror. Players experience the Soulsborne genre will instantly familiar with the combat system and the level design implemented by Spiders in Steelrising, with a few thematic adjustments to explain away the idea that automation could run out of stamina during the battle. Aegis generates hate attack, dodging or jumping, and needs to cool down, a circular mechanism in her back visibility going from red to white hot the more her stamina bar empties. Players can time a button press to rapidly cool Aegis down during overheating process, but it has a knock-on effect of playing freeze damage, which becomes a considered choice against particular enemies. Reaching back into their nation's past, Spiders can take real and reimagine historical figures to forge an alternative history of the French Revolution to engage effects as Aegis seeks to uncover the reason behind the King Louis destined into the tyranny. Still, rising empathies on the offense ties in healthy with the word the justification of Aegis' acrobatic fighting style, which draws on her original function as automated dancer. In gameplay turns, this purposes player to repeatedly attack the enemy entering a weakness state during first a more powerful blow can be delivered. A wide variety of both close-ranged weapons alongside straightforward fire, electric, frost status effects give combat-focused players a lot to explore. While set it on the floor either weapons, hurried upgrading my dual-wielding twin swords and the frost pistol, it seems quite reasonable to pivot the other given the reliably lost cost of upgrading and the abundance of the early upgrade materials. With around weapons 40 through across the entire game, Spiders ensure that even after 20 hours of gameplay, it's not too late to try a different approach or swap out the fire-based weapon in a frost enemy area. Tight controls and the clear animations ensure that engaging with the enemies doesn't feel like a chore, and that don't feel unfair. Aesthetically, Steelrising features a blend of both impressive and serviceable visual elements which become more fanatical and further player make it through the games as design leans toward a less realistic color palette in front of the moodier atmosphere towards the later half of the Aegis journey. In practice, it comes across as developer using the resources wisely and directing them wherever it matters most in the game. The picture square outkits and winding steels of the Paris, it surrounds and uniformly ablaze, which expansive level presenting as a blood-soaked maze full of the corpses and hastily affected barriers replete with the secrets and shortcuts. As pathways snake around and loop back on themselves, a convenient barrier usually opens up to join the last area of the level back in the first. Rather than the limit Aegis to ground floor of the Paris, her jump fiction serves not only to expand combo options but also ramp up vertically of the level design in Steelrising. With many early areas teasing just off reach, locations ripe for revisiting later using enhanced equipment and abilities including a grappling hook and the air dash. This increased emphasis of exploration and returning to early locations seem designed to offset what it would consider an overall lower difficulty level than most of Soulsborne style games. When compared to the Iron Tires in general, I found the encounter design in Steelrising a bit uneven and certain elements like surprise attacks from hidden enemies distinctly lacking polish. This could be a major issue in Jam that often relies on the pulse-pounding combat challenges to keep players engaged. Instead, with the Steelrising, spiders have firmly planted a flag in favor of accessibility in a number of ways. While there is the standard difficulty which was used for the review players, also the option of customizing their level of challenge by adjusting the amount of damage they take from enemies, how fast their stamina regenerates, and whenever HP is lost upon the health. This option could customize various factors of difficulty over a level means that many who have previously taken umbrage with the genre due to such design decisions would feel staying far more accessible than many of its peers. Furthermore, the level design is increased vertically, therein ensures there is something to hold interest outside of simply defeating the enemies, which wasn't as a present as more mysterious story and lore elements that have come to define from soft titles, and Steelrising takes a traditional approach to communicating its plot, which remains both compelling and easily absorbed despite some non-linear delivery. This will really come down to personal preference, but I found its refreshing challenge of peace to not stop every few minutes to pour out the item description. As a self-conceived soul-born Africazo, Steelrising has certainly captured my attention in a year that also saw the release of strategy brilliant Elden Ring. The later open world approach certainly isn't to everybody's taste. However, of the tighter focus of Steelrising, intertwined areas and emphasis on vertically level strikes a different tone, which I must really enjoyed. As far as technical aspects go, performance mode on PlayStation 5 and PC is rock solid, in my opinion necessary in an Action Force title when I would personally never take resolution of visual effects from frame rate. This is certainly some admiration of my spider plug, as AA development seems to going to weigh the buffalo as there a kind of pleasure derived from the watching a small developer grow and improve each subsequent title release. While I hesitate to use the phrase hidden gem before the game has even launched, I will say that Steelrising a pleasure surprise of engaging riff on the genre that increasingly feels they have run its course, even it's getting reinvented by its originator. While this time made a tried settlement where compared to the bombastic praise which accompanied the game launch, Steelrising is a game I have thoroughly enjoyed playing to hope see more from spiders in the future. Thank you guys for watching. Don't you forget to comment and subscribe. Peace.